Natalie, it's so good to see you. I have to ask you a question. Do you like luxury?
Hi, Scotty. Of course.
What is your favorite thing in a luxury car?
Ooh, I love the ambiance of like ambient lighting and also fragrance. Really like gives you a sense and a mood.
And so there are more and more cars now that do have fragrance diffusers in them. I think there's three, and I think there's another one coming online probably next year. Not many.
Ooh,
Yeah, not many. Um, and it adds a lot, doesn't it?
it makes you feel like, oh, I'm fancy.
Yeah, it does. The first time I got into a car that had fragrance diffuser, I honestly thought the guy that drove the car was wearing too much cologne,
Yes.
and I thought, "Ooh," I rolled down the windows, and then the next morning, I got back in the car, and the fragrance was still as strong, and I realized I went and looked in the glove box looking for something else, really looking for the window sticker, and, there I found a little container of fragrance in there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this was a thing. Then I got the window sticker and I found that there actually was a fragrance diffuser. And that story ended up not being quite so positive because I wanted to change the fragrance and I couldn't.
Right.
I was going to turn it off. It wasn't a good one, but they actually now, the time they only made three fragrances or four fragrances. Now they make a lot more and they're better. But I applauded the idea so much because you're right. It makes you feel really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're bringing that human touch to your everyday drive.
And if you can customize it, all the better. If you can pick your own fragrance, right? What what fragrance would you put in a car if you could put any fragrance in a car?
Oh, well, I have very interesting taste. I would either put like baby powder just because it's nice and fresh, and it always reminds me of like fun times, and growing up, and with my son, right? I'm like, oh, I always have that nostalgic feel. Or sandalwood, which is very, divergent from that, but it reminds me of just, an extra luxurious touch. Maybe vetiver, right? Something
Mm?
extra.
I like jasmine.
Oh,
Jasmine and bamboo is one of my favorite scents from Nest. And I
hmm
feel like anytime the jasmine and bamboo candle is lit, I feel
hmm
like my day is already better. I already feel a little elevated just from that single fragrance. And that's the one that I like. There's a lot of the ones at hotels that, sometimes I like them and sometimes I don't. Sometimes they're too like plummy and spicy.
right.
I feel like, they try to walk the line of both men and women at the same time, I feel like, and feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, they would dial it down a little bit, or maybe like allow me to choose a fragrance for my room or something like that. Maybe would be nice, but I applaud that they do it, and I feel bad for people who are allergic to fragrance, but there are a
Right.
lot of them. But that's the great thing about a car is if you have a fragrance diffuser, you can use it or not. You don't have to. You can turn it off, and you don't have to have it. But if you want it, you can have it. But if it doesn't have a fragrance diffuser, you don't get it. Even if you do want it, right? Well,
Exactly.
it's interesting that you say fragrance because that is a big, big thing in the designs of the person that we're speaking to next, Christine Cheng, who is head of global design for Lincoln. And she might be the only woman to lead global design for any automaker. We've spoken with female designers in the past, but she is head of global design, which is pretty amazing, pretty lofty job. But you'll see from our conversation, she is the woman for it. So let's listen to the conversation with Christine Cheng. This is Christine Cheng. Christine is Global Chief of Design, Global Design Director for Lincoln Motor Company. Thanks for spending a few minutes to talk with us today. I'm so excited. I just spent the day driving the brand new redesigned Lincoln Navigator. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
But let's back up before we talk about the car.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you.
All right.
So tell us what you do and how you got to this job.
Yeah. So as a global design director, I'm in charge of the design of all Lincoln lineup. So that's exterior design as well as interior design, and then also having influence and guidance over color material, human-centered design experience, and then working very closely with the digital design team as well.
Wow, that's a big job.
Yeah.
How long have you been at Lincoln?
Well, Lincoln, I transitioned last year, December, and then officially really started in January of this year.
January. So you're new to the role. Where
Yeah.
were you before that?
I was working on F-Series.
On pickup trucks. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. How long were you at Ford?
So Ford, I joined 2023 January. So I've been at Ford for about 2.5 years.
And where were you before that?
I was with General Motors for about 17 years.
General Motors. And what kind of products did you work on there?
I worked on all 4 of the brands: Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Chevrolet. But majority of my time was spent working on Cadillac as well as premium brands.
Cadillac. Okay. Well, I have to say that's quite the resume. And as you talk about that, I can see so many of these incredible design trends. I can see your fingerprints on the design trends, the screens, the leathers, the texture, the detail, the Alcantara suede.
Yes.
I just want to touch the ceiling all the time. It's so beautiful.
Velvety.
You talked about the human-centered design.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Human-centered design is taking insights from our customers and then seeing how they use the vehicle, how the vehicle fits into their life, really digging into their deep desires, and then bringing the insights and synthesizing, and then designing a holistic experience around it. So we are not only designing the aesthetic expression, but really about how you interact with the vehicle, what you experience inside the vehicle. It's a holistic experience expression is what we're doing.
And so there's a lot of that in the Lincoln Navigator for 2025. It is incredible, actually, how many places you actually interact with the machine as opposed to pushing a button or a lever and the machine does a thing. You really are interacting with the machine. Talk about these screens, because that's something that's been pretty, well, certainly it's evolved quite a lot. And a lot of people have strong feelings about screens. But tell me what the goal is when it comes to the driver and the passengers and their experience with screens.
We want their experience to be effortless. So
Thank you.
I also really like saying, not all large screens are designed the same.
Yeah.
Just because you got a panel and a large screen doesn't mean you're going to have a great experience. The way that we designed it so that you are going to get a great experience. And it's very thoughtfully created, thoughtfully designed. So when you sit inside a Lincoln Navigator, first thing that you'll notice is that the overall design is horizontal, it's linear, the IP is lower, so the way that you're
The
sitting.
instrument panel.
Yes,
IP.
thank you.
We have to demystify the lingo.
Right.
And
When you're sitting in the driver's seat, you're sitting a little bit more upright because you have that IP a little bit lower, and your view of the outside is really expansive now, right? So you get that calm effect. Now, going back to the digital screen, I talk about the IP because IP is where the, that large 48-inch screen is sitting. But the location of that IP, the location of the digital screen, that panel screen, is in a location where we specifically located it where you're looking out, and it's almost like at the windshield, so it almost becomes like your digital HUD that's spanning across that bottom of the windshield, and it keeps your eyes up and out. And then with the way that we shape the steering wheel, you're looking above the steering wheel, not through the steering wheel, so it really minimizes looking up and down, and you just have this ease of driving. It's effortless. That's what we wanted to really achieve.
so talk about how the steering wheel is different and how that helps the drive experience.
Yes, exactly. So what I was saying is, if you look at the steering wheel, at the top and bottom, it has a flattened shape, and what it does is allows you to look above the steering wheel, and then it looks cool too, and it's very sporty as well. A lot of times when you see sporty vehicles, they make the bottom more flat. And then, but here it's not just square. We rounded the edges, so rounded the corners. I apologize. Yeah, we rounded the corners. When you see the shape of the steering wheel, it not only looks unique and sporty, but it looks refined. It looks intentional as well when you're sitting inside, because you're looking up and above the steering wheel, and it allows you to have this expansive view of the panel as well as outside.
The visibility is really spectacular. Spending the day driving the Navigator, the visibility of the road, even with the steering wheel up a little higher, which I don't really like. I like it lower. So that's the first thing I do is move it lower.
You can lower it,
but
because you're looking above the steering wheel.
But even with it up, you have really good visibility. So between the steering wheel controls,
Did
which
you
are
try that?
oh yeah, oh yes,
How do you
yes,
like it?
and it's in the video. You guys can check out the video, and you'll see what we're talking about. And it is real. We'll drop a link below. It's really incredible, and it's the steering wheel, the controls on the steering wheel. They're not buttons. They are touch-sensitive pads, and you just swipe your finger, and then you see in the screen, you see the function
The icon
light
pops
up.
up. And
So
then you feel that haptic feedback though immediately.
You do, yes. Between the steering wheel, the controls, between the panoramic screen, the control screen below, and that's just the start. This is a very innovative technologically very innovative car. And that's not something that I would think of from Lincoln as like, oh, the most innovative technology on the road is Lincoln. That's not something that a lot of people say. So tell me where that comes from in the Lincoln sort of culture and ecosystem.
Well, we are a progressive brand, and then with the introduction of the Nautilus, and the Nautilus coming with the piano, it won the Motor Trend SUV of the year, and it's gaining a lot of attention from younger customers as well. We are really committed to designing an effortless ultimate experience for our customers, and we want the technology to be integrated seamlessly, and not technology for the sake of technology, but technology that's meaningful, that actually is beneficial to your experience with the vehicle. So that's our focus, and with that we designed this incredible all new designed interior.
I have to say,
reimagined interior.
the first time I saw this interior, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It really is incredible, and you don't really expect that. It's a very unexpected surprise from Lincoln. So tell me what your favorite feature is in the redesigned Lincoln Navigator.
Oh, I was asked that earlier. I can't pick just one. I have so many.
Pick two.
Okay. Well, I'll pick one from exterior and one from interior.
Okay.
Is that okay? So I love the front of this Navigator. When you see it from the front, and when you see it come behind you, or around the corner, the way that the front is designed, it looks confident, it looks commanding, it looks bold, but it's not trying so hard. It's not trying too hard. It has a noble presence to it. When you see the nose, there's an accent, it drops off, and then the nose is vertical, the grille. It's vertical, it looks very confident. Also, when you see the front, the grille is larger, it's wider, it's bold, it's strong, and everything starts from the Lincoln star in the middle. And then
the logo.
Yes, the Lincoln logo, and behind it, that Lincoln logo is supported by what we call galaxy of stars. So you see the bright bits, or in this case, we're sitting in a radiant copper accents, and then those are our galaxy of stars. And then you have that gliding light signature that comes from the Lincoln badge, Lincoln logo, and it spreads wide, like spreading its wings, and then it kicks up. So with that, it's such a unique signature, as well as a recognizable Lincoln signature, and it looks so confident, and it's really clean and modern. Love the strength of the front.
It really is so distinct. I saw it out on the road all day today, and I really love the light bar and the very sleek headlights. And you're right, it is very distinct. What's your favorite feature inside the car?
Inside, I absolutely love the piano screen.
Yes.
Yes, I love the panel screen and how we integrated the panel screen. Again, like I said, not all panel screens are the same. Just because you find a vehicle with a large screen doesn't mean it's going to give you the best experience. We designed it so that it's very purposeful. You have all the right information in the right location, where you want it, when you want it. And information such as navigation, you have it on all the time if you want it there. And then, for example, when you get a phone call or other, controls that you want to do, it doesn't overpower the navigation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you get a phone
So the
call.
navigation stays there.
Yes,
even
yes,
though
I love
somebody's
that.
calling you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then because otherwise you have to click, get me back to my navigation, right? And then with that as a whole system, the way that the instrument panel is designed to receive that panel allows you to look out and with a clearer view, larger view, and the horizontal design elements of the IP, and then that linear line going across the side, it really sets this nice serene tone in the interior. So I love the technology. I love the feeling that you get in the interior. I think that's multiple things that I talked about.
I like
Love
being
the
able to
interior.
see
Yeah.
the screen from back here.
Yeah,
So we're
yeah,
sitting in the
yeah.
second row, and I can see everything on the screen. I can see the temperature. I can see navigation. I can see the speed we're going. I can say, honey, you need to slow down.
And we have massage feature in the second row, heated and ventilated. I love. And then third row, you could get heated seat as well.
That's pretty amazing.
Really
That's
big
pretty
deal.
amazing.
And then we have 28 speakers.
28 speakers
Yes,
in
20.
the ceiling. Wow.
And 28 speakers in the interior, and then it's using a 3D Revel Ultima audio system. So the sound's going to be amazing.
So what's next on your plate for Lincoln?
Oh, we got lots of exciting work coming up.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So let's take another step back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you. What brought you to automotive design as a career?
So I've always been interested in a field in creative fields. I've always been drawing ever since I was young. It's really interesting. My sister and I are very different. So my sister, if you look at my sister's childhood scrapbook, she has all these math awards. And she ended up going to a field in finance. So she works in finance. And if you see my scrapbook, it's all art awards. So you can imagine.
Wow.
I knew from the beginning I want to pursue a career in creative field. And I didn't know what to do with this passion of mine until one day I found out about car design. What I loved about car design is that with this artistic talent that I have, or this passion that I have, I now have the ability to make a positive impact in people's lives. So no longer it's just an artwork that's in someone's living room, which that's great too. I think, art, there's a lot of therapeutic aspect of it too, love art. But the fact that cars are such an integral part of people's lives, and it's the second most expensive purchase. One could, big purchases, right? So and then it is, you can really brighten up someone's day with a well-designed product.
So
And
true.
just marrying, my passion with making impact, and then the fact that cars are actually an art form, and you're creating a 3D art that happens to have wheels and that's moving and it does so much more. I was just so enthralled by it. I loved it. I loved the idea of it. So as soon as I decided I wanted to be a car designer, I remember, this is back in high school, I remember going and buying every car magazine there was, and then I just drew cars from that day on, and all I did was sketch cars. And then I went to and I applied to Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California. If you don't know, that's one of the best design schools and best car design schools in the world. Many prominent car designers came from Art Center. So I applied there, I went there, and then rest is history.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Cupertino. If you don't know, Cupertino is where Apple headquarters is.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like, it's in the heart of Silicon Valley. It's close to Palo Alto.
Right.
And growing up also, you know, near all that technology, I was really in touch with innovation and product design and coming up with new things and creativity. So I think that also had some influence as well. It's my love for art and creativity combined with innovation, like innovative thinking, and then the desire to make an impact in the world, positive impact.
How did your parents aid your journey into automotive design, or did they just set you free and let you do what you wanted to do?
I have to say my parents were very supportive. My parents told me that I should just pursue what I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm doing is what I love to do. And I've been in the business for about 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't consider this work. This is my passion. Absolutely love it. And I feel very fortunate to do something that I love this much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you never work a day in your life if you're
you love what
following
you
your
do.
passion.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Mhm.
So talk about bringing some of the design ideas that you talked about, modernist, minimalist, mid-century modern, the influence of furniture design, which has been a part of the Lincoln design language for some time. But talk about what you bring to your job that's female influenced and maybe more fashion or design, or maybe that more female sensibility, whereas automotive design has always been considered very male.
Actually, yeah. I'm glad that you're talking about that because it's really interesting. So when I went to school many years ago now, I was either the only or one of the other two female design student in car design. And fast forward now, and looking back, we're still minority. And it's really interesting. Recently, I was connected with Royal College of Arts. They're in UK, in London. Royal College of Arts master's students who were doing a research on why there are so few, or let me rephrase that. They were doing research on how to help car design field become more diverse and be more inclusive. And they did a research or survey, and they found that currently in automotive design, female designers in exterior design and interior design only make up single-digit percentage.
Wow.
And that saddened me. That really saddened me. I think the reason why, it's all, hypothesis. But I think people don't realize how artistic and how creative this field is. And it's really fun. It's really, really fun. And you're absolutely right. It requires a lot of that feminine touch as well. Whether you're male or female or whatever gender you are, there are aspects of masculine form, language, or design, and there are feminine touches that you need both. You need both of that. And, drilling into the details and making sure it's finesse and it's refined and sophisticated, all of that really adds to luxury premium experience. So that's what I really focus on is, yes, I look at the big picture, making sure from far away, the design, the key lines, the theme, it's very strong, it's prominent, it's memorable, it's iconic, but you also have to zoom in and get to the detail of the actual execution. How is that part interface looking? How is that gap looking? How is it put together so that it really communicates craftsmanship and that elevated look and experience?
And it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it's beautiful. So outside of automotive, who are your favorite designers?
Ooh, I really like Tom Ford.
Okay.
I like Tom Ford. I also like Johnny Ives. I mean, we know what he's done with
from
Apple. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Tom Ford and Johnny Ives. Okay, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about mentoring and
Yes.
who has helped you along the
Oh,
way.
I've had a lot of really good mentors. And you know, I would say the mentorship that was most successful were mentors that just happened naturally. And I know there's some mentorship programs that I participate in where I was a mentee or a mentor. Those are great too. I'm not discouraging that at all. But I would really encourage people to make intentional effort to build relationship, and then build relationship, build trust with people that you admire, that you want to learn from, and then have them as like unofficial mentors. So I have quite a few that's really been helpful, and then that I reach out to, case by case. Yeah.
And what about you as a mentor? Do you mentor?
I want to do more. And then some of my previous team I still keep in touch with, and then my door's open. I want to help as much as I can. I want to bring up the people around me.
And how do we bring more women into automotive design?
Yeah, I think we need to just bring more awareness. We are making progress, but not fast enough and not enough. So we just need to make sure that there's more awareness, and also I would say awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that automotive design is not just people have this, if you don't know that there's an artist behind cars, you just think about, is it just engineering? Is it just gearhead stuff? But it starts from a sketch.
Yeah.
Every car you see.
The details in here are incredible. If you go to Nordstrom or Saks Fifth Avenue or Neiman Marcus and you look at handbags, these really fun,
we are super inspired by
Chloe
handbags.
handbag or some of these really beautiful handbags, and you come in here and look at these details, it's very similar. The stitching. This is the and you know this, the Alcantara suede headliner. This is what Louis Vuitton handbags are lined with. They're lined with the same suede. And finding that out was like such a gravitational fact for me. I was, wow, they use that in cars and in Louis Vuitton handbags.
And you can see the diamond quilting here.
And all
really
the perforations and the piping. It's really beautiful. So one last question.
Yes.
What do you work very hard, we all do, and it's sometimes work takes over our personal lives and we can't be everywhere all the time. So what do you want people in your life, your husband, your family, your parents, siblings, nephews, to take away from your career?
Well, for me, Lincoln is a very personal brand. Lincoln was my late father's favorite car brand. So so it's a full circle for me to be leading the design direction for Lincoln. So I do not take this role lightly, and people around me know that too. So actually, when we were doing the announcement of me getting the position, my sister and I, we were chatting about it, and both of us kind of got choked up. Like, Dad would be so happy, I would say that I'm pursuing my passion. I'm pursuing doing what I love and making a difference to such a beloved brand, right? This brand signifies success. It means American dream to so many people. We want to continue that, expand upon that, and build upon that. And so it's just pursuing my passion and continuing that. Yeah.
Thanks for spending some time with me, Christine.
Yeah,
I think before we leave, we need to turn on the massaging seats.
Let's do it.
I think okay. Here, I'm going to turn yours on.
Thank you.
And you want the recovery? Full recovery?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing. Massage. Woo. All right. All right. I think I'm ready to relax. Will somebody bring us champagne in this car?
Yes.
you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
All right.
complimented.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She was so much fun. I loved talking with her.
Yes. Now, it looked super posh in the second round. Tell me a little bit about that.
So the way that they had the black label model spec, it only comes that way. So what you
Wow.
saw is what you get if you get the black label. And what that means is second row or captain's chairs in the center row because there's a third row, and they are massaging.
Oh,
And
yes.
yep. And then the one that we were in had the light colored interior. It's designed to look sort of like a summer fog or like a morning fog. So light gray, but that's sort of light misty feel to it. So not overly bright, which I do appreciate. I love a white interior, but I don't like a white interior that's blinding. And
Right.
that was the goal there. I loved the dark accents under, like darkened carpets and the dark seat backs, and not everything is that light color, so it doesn't blind you again. And if things get dirty, you don't see all of it. You won't see all the dirt, just the dirt on the light colored parts of the car, which I thought was nice. And then the screens in that car are crazy good. If you have not seen the video of the Lincoln Navigator or the video of the Lincoln Nautilus, go to our YouTube and check this out. The screens are crazy good. It has this panoramic screen that spans the entire front of the dash. And that's where all your function is. And you can change it, you can customize it, but it's not a touch screen. And the driver's display is pretty static, although you can customize that a bit as well. And you can just, you see it, it's part of your visibility in that it sits low and it's not overly bright. So it's not a blinding crisp, it's crisp, but it's not, it doesn't look like, some video screens look like, real life. They're so vivid. This is definitely a graphic display as opposed to a video display. And so it has a little bit more of a low key look to it. So you get that key information, but it's not distracting is the point. And it is so good. And then it has this small, like a squircle steering wheel. So it's flat on top and flat on bottom. And it also does not impede your vision. So you're driving like this. Your hands are not in your view. The screen is not in your view. The steering wheel is not in your view. What's in your view is the road. And it's really good. It's really good. It's just a home run. They introduced that in the Nautilus probably a year and a half ago. And this is their overall strategy. And actually Ford has a similar strategy. Lincoln has the larger, more luxurious screens. But we see a similar approach in the new Ford vehicles as well. And it's a home run. It's a home run. It really, that plus the rejuvenation mode, plus in the way that they've spec'd out these interiors, all the thoughtful, intuitive touches make this car so luxurious. And I have to say, I was skeptical. I thought, I don't know how they're going to make this car more luxurious because it was so beautiful. And they did. They did.
That's amazing. I mean, it really brings that luxury touch of like enjoying your ride, the space, and just feeling, with that squircle, you have the nice grip to it. So you're just in the zone.
Yeah.
I love it. It's definitely integrating more in that everyday life of luxury versus like the engineering side. So that's really nice.
Well, and you said it right. You're in the zone. And I think what that means is that every passenger in the car can be in the zone. So you can be, as a driver, you can be in the zone doing your thing. Rear seat passengers can be in their own zone. Your front seat passenger can be in his own zone. And everybody has a great experience. You connect and you bond when you need to. But when you're in like that fourth or fifth hour of that drive and you need to show everybody out, and just listen to your own podcast, you can do that too, and just relax and enjoy those massaging seats. It's all really good. Lincoln is on its game, and in Christine. They have quite the leader. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us for our conversation with Christine Cheng, Global Design Director for Lincoln. Thanks, Natalie, my co-host and also producer of this podcast. Thank you to Steph Howard, our editor. Our music is by Envato. You can find this podcast and all of them right here, wherever you got this podcast, Apple, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you are, as well as on the link on our website. You'll find our podcast. And please join us for our next one. Be sure to subscribe and get notifications for all of our podcasts. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on What Drives Her from A Girl's Guide to Cars.
Thank you. Bye.